There's hundreds of MSPs out there, right? So as an MSP, how do you stand out there? But if you're a buyer, if you're in the market for IT support, how do you truthfully select the right provider who's gonna be loyal, who's gonna take care of your needs, and who's gonna proactively protect your environment so that you don't end up a breach ransomware headline? How does one evaluate an MSP provider? And I think that's good for the general public and as well as fellow MSPs to really look and review. And again, it's sales and it's marketing and it's how do we differentiate ourselves in a saturated market of, there's 100 providers, right? So we need to differentiate ourselves, but also to the person out there buying IT support and managed services, how do they really have a report card or a scorecard that tells them, what are the things they should be looking for and what really is going to set a shop apart from all the rest. I'm Stephen Taylor. This is WeeklyST. It's a weekly video series giving you kind of the behind the scenes on how we've grown our Chicagoland cybersecurity IT support company here over the last 10 years. And I feel like we're always trying to one-up ourselves, and I do that in life as well. So here's another behind the scenes in how we're differentiating ourselves in the market. There's probably many different ways, probably 15 or 20 ways that I could come up with really to rate and rank an MSP and for those of us in the industry to stand out from the rest. But I came up with 5 that I think are very straightforward and simple that everyone can use to really, either level up their MSP or look to the 5 or 10 that are in your market and be able to hire the right one. And the first and the easiest one is reviews and testimonials. Any IT shop, any provider in any industry that's worth their weight, that's doing any good, is going to have Google 5-star reviews. They're going to have testimonials and case studies and client references on their website and in their marketing material, and read through those, right? You're going to get a flavor for what is it that this place provides that their clients love about them. Is it that they're answering their phones? Is it that their team is super friendly? Is it that they're always there and they're smart enough to get the issues fixed quickly, right? And if those reviews and those testimonials aren't there, and if you can't call on somebody for a reference, it's probably maybe they're in startup phase and they're super new, or they just might not be delivering on their word. And so I think that reviews and testimonials is probably the single easiest way quickly, via just some internet research, to start weeding out some of these extra places that you might not want to interface with. The second, I think, is also something you can kind of test ahead of time without having to waste time on a meeting and everything else. If you call the phone numbers that are published on Google or on the website or whatever, is someone answering the phone, right? Or conversely, are you being put through an auto attendant or, an answering service or something else? If you can't get a hold of somebody now in the pre-sales process or just by calling off the website, what's going to happen if your server's down and you need help now? Are they really going to be answering the phones and things like that? So I think that answering the phone live with a real person, I think that's the second best way. And again, you can kind of do this ahead of having to waste time setting up a sales meeting and meet with people and all that. You can kind of test to see, is this a shop we're going to want to do business with? Now, a couple other ways to really rate and rank, I think, is, does this IT provider do an all-inclusive model, or are they more break, fix, and reactive? And I just think the latter model is not a win-win for clients and businesses out there, right? Instead of being paid to be proactive and ahead of things and making sure that the environment is quiet and running efficiently, in a break-fix model, that company is incentivized, so to speak, to hurry up and wait for, the next server down or big issue or something to fix so that they can bill you for their time. And also, they might be billing you to learn whilst doing. And a lot of places, that I've met with over the years, that's one of their pain points is they just feel like the bill is a little bit more than it should be because, Joe had to kind of learn while he was on the job. Conversely, in the all-inclusive model, and when we say all-inclusive, we truly mean it. And I think this is one of the ways that MSPs can really differentiate themselves. A lot of places will say all-inclusive, but they don't exactly mean it. You'll find that after-hours support is still billable. You'll find that projects and migrations are still billable. And I've just always believed that let's just do everything and put it on the same flat monthly fee every single month, no matter what, whether they call us 100 times or 1,000 times, whether we're doing an email migration or not. It's good for the customer. It's good for us, right? They're not seeing an extra bill for the work that we probably need to do. And we're able to do that work on a good schedule instead of maybe having to wait for budget approval and things like that. And that's good for the environment of that customer. Their network's going to run smoothly. Their employees are going to be productive. And then it's good for us because, again, when things are running correctly, we're not getting the phone calls of, hey, this is broken. Can you fix this? Can you fix that? And so I think a truly all-inclusive model is a huge differentiator for MSPs out there in the marketplace, but also a win-win for prospective customers and businesses when they're looking to outsource their IT support. Yeah, when I say all-inclusive, I mean, it's crazy, and we really mean it again, but it's, what everybody knows and loves is the help desk. When they call in, they're going to get somebody who can fix their issue because technology is never perfect. But on an ongoing proactive basis, I mean, we're instantly patching stuff. This week, Microsoft, came out and said, hey, we're working on a patch now, but here's a way you can work around this pretty big issue. It's kind of a high priority critical, and we're seeing a lot of environments that aren't right. And so our team just engages and goes and does that work, right? We're not, then billing the customer for that time. We're just getting the things done because it's important for everybody from a security perspective. But projects, migrations, the backups, cybersecurity protections, firewalls, antivirus, all of these different things which are really necessary for everyone's environment, everyone's network, everyone's business. We just do that as a part of what we do on an all-inclusive basis. So the fourth way that I believe really helps the competition stand out, helps us stand out from the competition and helps others and is good for business, good for the clients, good for the prospects is a month-to-month contract. So many times I'm seeing our competitors go in with a 36-month, 3-year contract that you're locked into and you can't get out of. And I think that's a hurdle from a sales perspective, right? Nobody really wants to sign up for a 3-year commitment, especially in technology, because everything changes so often. And to get locked into a provider who you can't really vet or you're not really sure on. And for what? I don't believe that there's any real gain, right? I don't see where these competitors are providing something uniquely different and better than what we do for this 36-month trade-off. And I just feel that if you're a good business doing good work, you can then earn that repeat customer every single month. And for us, we do. The average lifetime of our customers is something like 4 or 5, almost 5 years now, and we've been around for 10 years, right? So it shows in the numbers, so to speak, and it shows in the testimonials, and it shows in the reviews that we're the right provider and a good choice. And we don't have to kind of lock our clients into this 36-month, 3-year contract type stuff where they don't have options. We want to be able to earn that business and their trust every single month, and we do that. And the fifth, and arguably in this landscape, probably the most important thing is cybersecurity. And it's a two-sided coin here. Every IT provider who's in business today, who's supporting customers and has access to hundreds, if not thousands of users and endpoints and workstations had better be taking care of cybersecurity in their own house and ensuring that they don't become susceptible to a breach or ransomware, which then leaves their customers susceptible to the same issues and challenges. And it's almost every week, if not every month, that I'm hearing stories of this. And a lot of it is from lackluster providers who have been doing things the same way for way too long, who aren't adjusting, who aren't implementing two-factor, who don't have proper backups, who aren't worried about the patching and the importance of, controlling the environment and locking things down. They then are in the headlines with a breach, with a ransomware, which then leads all of their customers, maybe 10, maybe 50, maybe 100 other businesses held for ransom, locked down, and it's bad news for everyone. And truthfully, it's 99% preventable. It's just people doing things the same way they've always done before. And so cybersecurity is this point of the provider needs to ensure that their house is locked down. And then that other side of it is, okay, what of that can we then enable and have installed on the client side to ensure that their environment is safe, that they're protected as well? Because again, same thing in the headlines, school districts, municipalities, manufacturing customers, big businesses, right? Hundreds of employees losing their jobs and losing their livelihood because businesses are closing because they either can't pay the ransom, they can't recover their data, they've lost $100,000 in a ACH, inadvertent transfer, whatever it might be. This stuff is impacting businesses and people in huge ways. And so cybersecurity, unfortunately, is a huge problem that we all need to be addressing. And so if you're interviewing a provider or if you're a fellow MSP and cybersecurity is not now 25% of the time that you're spending on your business or working with customers or educating the market on, then you're probably not doing things enough and correctly. And it's, I know it sounds like fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and it is, but it's also very real. And so I believe that cybersecurity had better be, in the marketing material, in the sales pitch, so to speak. And if it's not, start asking the questions of this provider and those that you might be interviewing, because it needs to be of paramount importance for your organization as well as any IT provider that you choose. So I appreciate the feedback in these videos. Go ahead and give it a like. That helps others see these videos. Go ahead and give me a comment. I'm always interested in your thoughts and feelings on what we're talking about, and happy to help if there's something that you'd like me to talk about. And go ahead and subscribe and share. Check us out again next week, and certainly share it out to your network. I'd love to have more eyeballs to see these videos.